Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at nice people who finally snapped. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. This woman, Mary, I worked with was always pleasant and cheerful, said hello in the lunchroom and was generally liked. She worked in finance in special projects. She said she wanted to retire in a few years and she had been working there for 15 years. Her boss started pressuring her to complete our annual budget report faster. But this thing is huge and comprehensive and a figurative beast. Mary told the boss it would be ready in a couple of weeks per the usual schedule. The boss said that it needed to be completed within 1 week to give to the higher-ups. Mary said it wasn't possible. Boss emailed Mary plus CC a bunch of co-workers and the assistant managers, calling Mary out for a poor work ethic and for making the department look bad. Mary said it wasn't possible and didn't appreciate being bullied. She put in her notice to retire by the end of the week, leaving her boss high and dry. She was the one who could do the budget report in a timely manner, so the department was double screwed. Good for her. Oh my gosh. Good on her, seriously. Yeah, you're gonna regret it now. But honestly though, I feel like this is something a lot of people want to do, you know? Like just be like, okay, then you do it yourself. I quit. But then, you can't really do that sometimes because you just need the monies. She was an assistant manager and was known for being soft-spoken. At a manager meeting, one of the general managers, who was known for being a total jerk to everyone, was going off on how every store should be run. Well, she snapped. You have the highest turnover rate out of any store in the district. You can't keep employees for more than 6 months before they just quit or saying you were the problem. Maybe you should take that advice you're giving us and use it on yourself. I love these, honestly. I love it. Yeah, use it on yourself. Like, I feel like this is me on the inside if someone was being mean. But like, I just can't say it out, Oh my gosh, this is amazing. This reminds me of when people say that exes are crazy. Like every single one of the exes are crazy. Well, maybe you should look at yourself, okay? A long time ago, I used to do call center tech support for fairly complex issues. A really nice, quiet guy went through the same training class. He talked if you talked to him, but never went out of his way to chat. Right after training, the call center changes a ton of stuff. We start getting squeezed on the amount of time we can do documentation, how much research time we have, just metrics in general. It was utter bullcrap because the favorites got to go on smoke breaks as often as they wanted with the managers. We'd essentially be punished for that because we had to keep the average numbers in a certain area. He did all the right things, talked to his manager, talked to their manager, then to the HR. It kept getting worse, plus enforced overtime. Then he got a super long call. He was on it at least 2 hours about a complex issue, and the customer was just straight up abusing him, but he had to take it because the managers wouldn't give permission for him to hang up. And they were basically screaming at him to resolve this issue and get to his next call, but we couldn't end calls. The customer had to. One day he just stood up, stepped onto his chair, then onto his desk, threw his headset on the desk and sort of growled something like "screw this" quietly. He looked around, staring people in the face, especially the people who took those long breaks and the managers. Then he walked out and no one ever saw him again. Everyone was super quiet and afraid to move or say much of anything. Yeah, that's because they knew. They knew they didn't do anything at all. They pushed everything onto him. Seriously, that sucks. How unfair is that? People are slacking off and then you have to make up for it because not enough work is done. So you have to do that extra work because other people are slacking off, smoking. Everyone would be pissed in this situation. In middle school, my 6'2" gentle giant friend, who was literally the nicest guy you'd ever meet, got teased about his mum by some short popular kid. My friend, no hesitation, picked him up by his shirt and slammed him against the locker at eye level and said, "Never talk about my mum like that." One of my favorite memories of him. That's amazing. Honestly. The short kid's pride must be hurt. He's so short that someone had to pick him up to look at him at eye level. Oh my goodness. When I was in high school, my group of like 6 friends were sitting at a round table in the cafeteria for breakfast. A table over, some girls had been tossing small chunks of the food in our direction. My one friend wore her hair in an unusual spiked up style, and I guess the girls at the table were trying to land food in her hair while cackling to themselves. Cue my quiet, sweet, introverted friend Kay getting so angry, I swear steam was coming out of her ears. One of the girls had thrown a decent-sized piece of her egg patty at us, and it landed on the floor near Kay's foot. Kay proceeded to step on the egg patty, pick it up off the ground, walk over to the table of bullies, and shove the egg directly into the mouth of the one who had thrown it. This was such an amazing moment in my high school memory. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, as Kay was the last person I would have expected to do that. Of course, she did get in trouble, but she didn't regret it one bit. Oh my gosh. I feel like this is our dream, you know? Like, we all have moments where we want to do these kind of things at some situations, but like, we just don't have the gut to do it, you know, because of the consequences. Honestly, if you're bullying someone, expect something to happen, alright? Back in 5th grade, I was super lucky to have the elementary school's favorite teacher. Every single student loved her. My class was always super loud and annoying. We were working on some assignment before PE and everyone was passing her off. She was only allowing students to go out if they finished the assignment. My slow butt was unfortunately one of the last kids in the room. This one student, who was awful and annoying, was being way over the top. My teacher got up, put her hands over her ears and just started screaming, "Shut up! Shut up! Just shut up! Shut up!" And she just stomped out of the room, still screaming with her hands covering her ears. All of us just sat there in horror. Couple of kids just left to go to PE, and I sat there just trying to finish the assignment. Our principal came into the room a few minutes later, just telling the rest of us to go out to PE. But she made the awful kid stay in the room with her. He was moved into the other 5th grade teacher's room after this. She was completely normal and fine after coming back, and there was nothing else that went wrong for the rest of the year. Just worked her butt off and made all of us love her by her caring soul and all of that fun stuff. But that moment completely traumatized me. Oh my gosh, in 5th grade. Imagine your favorite teacher just losing it. Oh, I'll be scared too. That one kid really made her lose it. Older brother's wedding. He's a very nice guy, almost too nice. He had a horrible girlfriend. He adored her though. She told him that he wasn't good enough and that she should break up with him unless he bought her this super fancy ring and married her. He did. The wedding was very stressful and she was extra nasty. After they cut the cake, she got herself a huge slice and left him with none, telling him he should go on a diet. Oh my gosh. For context, he was super underweight. He was working his way up to average. He snapped, threw a handful of cake at her pretty dress and hair, then told her to expect divorce papers to sign. He proceeded to scream, cry, and rant about how horrible she was. He's better now. They split up and live in different continents. I'm glad they split up. Oh my gosh. I feel like when you piss off someone really nice, it's scary. You know, because since someone is really nice, I feel like they have bottled a lot of angriness inside of them. Because maybe if they're gonna be angry one time in their life, they're just gonna let it all out. She sounded horrible though. How could you tell your own boyfriend that he's not good enough? Like, you're the one dating him. Dude, come on. What are you doing then? If you feel like he's not good enough, then find someone you feel like is good enough for you and be happy together so he can find someone better. I'm just so glad they weren't married for long, you know? They got divorced like after the wedding. Oh jeez. Back in 6th grade, I was in a class with this kid we'll call Hudson. Now, Hudson was the nicest, calmest kid in the entire school and almost never spoke a word. Then came along someone who we'll call Will. Will was from a nearby city, and since we were all from a small little town, he thought of himself as above everyone else. This resulted him in being mean to everyone around him, whether it be students, EAs, or even teachers. One day, Will decided he wanted to try picking on Hudson, who was sat quietly reading a book. Will walked up to him, spat in his face, and took his book and proceeded to tear out pages from it. Now, Hudson was a huge bookworm, so seeing a book having its pages being torn out by Will must have snapped something, because he lets out this unholy shriek and launches himself out of his chair and right onto him. Hudson then grabs the book and begins smacking him with it. I'm talking meaty slaps here. These could be heard very clearly. After almost a minute of Hudson beating him with a book, a teacher finally returns to the class. If I remember correctly, Will managed to get off with only 3 days suspension, and Hudson got at least a full week. Needless to say, Will didn't mess with anyone after that. Oh, He learned his lesson. Good. I feel like if you're gonna do something mean, always expect a consequence, okay? Even if the consequence is not right by the other person, expect it. You never know what's gonna happen, so just be nice to people, alright? Jeez, it's not that hard. Like, he didn't have to go out of his way to spit on someone and then rip pages out of someone's book. He could have just sat down and did nothing. You know what I mean? Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!